On the 3rd, from Uyo to Accra, Ghana, you can see clearly that the economic opportunities and the tourism growth of the state is being given impetus, and this will become the biggest economic hub in the whole of this country, regional economic hub in the whole of this country, and the biggest, any subnational. You heard the aviation minister say he's not even comparing, he's the only one with an interchange and flight connection facilities within one airport. Did you hear me say flight connections within one airport? That is inside Uyo, not outside. Human capital development, it's key to the administration, and of course, driven by its commitment to inclusive growth and sustainable human capital development, the government of His Excellency Pastor Omono has sustained strategic empowerment and employment interventions aimed at expanding opportunities across all sectors in the state. The state has recorded significant progress in human capital development, and from the data available from the digital economy, 750 political office holders have been appointed by this government. This is the single highest appointments made by any government in Akwa Ibom State since the return of democracy in 1999. And I can say this without any fear of equivocation. 750, including PAs at the ward level. Through the 369 wards, you have an appointee being located within that environment to represent government at the ward level. It has never happened. It has not happened in Nigeria. It has never happened in this state. It's a feat that is first and remains the first. In terms of the civil service, right now, it's growing. We have 53,275 on the active payroll, as it were, today. And of course, additional 5,000 is coming into this number, and it's growing. In addition to this, 86,324 persons have benefited directly or indirectly through direct or indirect employment or empowerment initiatives as at May 15, 2026, reflecting the broad reach of the administration's intervention in terms of human capital development across board. These achievements have been driven through several special intervention vehicles, such as the DASAC, the Dakada Skill Acquisitions Center, and its training programs, where His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, is spending 1 million per head of trainee in DASAC, including feeding for a 6-month program. I'm not sure many people know about this. For every person that is sent there, the government spends ₦1 million on that person. I can say this, only yesterday, I think over 700 million was committed again for this training of these people as of yesterday at ₦1 million per head for those 6 months, including feeding for those who are at DASAC. Alongside those who are at, of course, the shorter courses at Ibomled and the finishing school that we have there. This is going side by side with what we mentioned earlier, the farmers' grant, the traders' grant, of course, the ongoing civil service recruitment, and the elderly support program that has touched about 12,000 persons so far as of May 15. 12,000 people have benefited from the elderly citizen support program. And all of these are designed to strengthen livelihoods, enhance skills, and of course, promote economic inclusion across the state. In terms of housing, in the area of housing development, and this is very interesting because sometimes people don't know the details. In furthering housing development objectives of the ARISE agenda, the administration has constructed so far and finished 1,048 housing units within 3 years. And in the distribution, about 70% of these houses represent social housing. Social housing. For those from the basement. For those from the basement. Then about 27% represents institutional housing. For instance, when you're talking about villages and quarters, those are institutional housing. They don't belong to individuals, they belong to government. Even if you're an occupant, for instance, if you're in a legislative quarter or in a judiciary village or in a ESCO village, you're only a tenant there. You pass in and pass out. Those are institutional housing. Then, of course, luxury housing only constitutes 3%. 3%. So there's a method to the housing development scheme of His Excellency. The method is actually a bottom-up approach. So it's almost 450. If we add the last number, it was 438, and the ready ones, I'm told, now about 450 out of the target of 500. That's within the social housing. And the 175 that were given out free to public servants from level 01 to 7. And all of those come within the social housing milieu. And that's targeted at people at no cost at all. The ones I've mentioned within the social milieu are at no cost at all to beneficiaries and the beneficiaries. I want to talk about healthcare briefly because the man who will talk about healthcare just stepped out. I know he's an Arsenal fan, and don't worry, we'll soon get there. The administration of His Excellency Pastor Omono has embarked on a comprehensive healthcare renaissance focused on infrastructure, manpower development, emergency response systems, and affordable access to healthcare, therefore advancing the healthcare objective of the ARISE agenda. Government commenced the construction, of course, of the Ibom International Hospital, which is a huge 350-bed hospital with 24 departments and several inputs that Dr. Ikem will shed more light on. And, of course, the establishment of the emergencies, Akwa Ibom State Emergency Ambulance Service, fully equipped service across the state to help rescue people. And the testimonies are there. You have seen so many people who have been rescued by this ambulance service and people who would have perhaps died if that service was not there. We may not understand what it is until you have an experience, and then you need an ambulance in an environment you don't find it. You will understand that we need these services, and we commend His Excellency for this intervention because this is something very alien to this part of the world, but he's introduced it here and it's working. Hospitals and primary healthcare centers have been built. Others, new ones, have been renovated under the medical emergency regime. And of course, general hospitals also, new ones have been constructed and commissioned, while rehabilitation is also going on in other general hospitals, including the ones at Ikorekbene, Eket, Awa, and so on and so forth. The administration has established, of course, the oxygen plant to help, because it's an essential service. We may not understand what it means until you have someone who needs oxygen. Then you will understand what God has done to us for having this oxygen at no cost. But of course, when you need it, government is there to make sure that it happens. That's why the oxygen plant was established by this administration and commissioned, I think, last February last year, February 29th last year. March 1st? Okay, March 1st. March 1st last year. Under the Akwa Ibom State Health Insurance Scheme, as we speak, so far, about almost 200,000 persons have enrolled in that scheme, and in such a short time, with the free healthcare schemes that's provided for children and the elderly, and it guarantees access to healthcare, and that is something very, very important, and what we see in some other parts of the world. The details of the consultations and hospital growth and all of what they have done in that sector resides with the Honorable Commissioner for Health, and I'm sure he will shed more light. Then the big picture, tourism development. The Honorable Commissioner for Tourism is here, and any point that we did not take in this very brief headline of just 86 paragraphs, I think he will throw more light. And the government has continued to invest in tourism and hospitality, and entertainment and recreational facilities in the state, guided again by the ARISE agenda's vision of positioning Akwa Ibom State as a premier tourism destination. Projects executed include, but not limited to, the 73 hectares reclaimed gullies of despair named ARISE Palm Resort right at our back here. That's where the Variety Night was held yesterday or into this morning, to see the walkability. I'm sure I saw some of you there, and I'm sure you saw the beauty that's unfolding or that is unfolded in the ARISE Palm Resort. That is the kind of thinking that His Excellency the Governor has for Akwa Ibom State. That meaning Disney of a sort, or Disneyland if you like, is already here in Uyo and is right at your back. Take advantage of it when it opens so we can have those things that take off us, that make us travel and buy tickets. We have them right here. Of course, the 5,000 capacity Ibom International Convention Center at the newly christened Convention Arena, where you have at the old Tropicana complex, that's coming up. It's by God's grace, we hope that by September that will be finished, so we can have now the first single asset 5,000 capacity convention center. I can see some lawyers in the house looking at me. That's the first time we will be in a position as Honorable Attorney General to host the MBA. Attorney General, we will be able to host the MBA for once and host the NMA in Nigeria, because we'll have a facility that can take 5,000 in one location. That is the first, another very first. That facility is completely redesigned and rebuilt to serve that purpose. The hotel, the 200-bed Ibom hotels, is just by the corner to support that facility, and the Arise Shopping City is coming up right at the side of that same facility. So you can understand or imagine what's coming up in that environment. So you can shop, you can have your event, you can recreate, you can lodge. Just so much happening in one environment. And the old theme park is being rehabilitated to have another place for children. The old theme park that's around that corner. And internal roads within the whole of that arena is currently being rebuilt. And the access gate from the new Ring Road, from Ring Road 3, you can see the access gate. If you get off the Academy on, the next one is the access gate into the shopping city, and it takes you into the convention arena. Find time, drive around these things so you can see them. There's just so much going on. You know about the rehabilitation of the Ibom Golf hotels. That's going on right now. Of course, the Ibom Plaza rehabilitation, that was done, and that has given impetus and safety and brought safety to that facility with a new police station and permanently stationed police trucks and security to ensure that that place is safe. That's why you can now move around Ibom Plaza. You're not worried about anybody picking your phones or harassing you, because all of those have been taken away from that place, and Ibom Plaza has been restored to a beautiful environment. Very soon, that of Ikore Ekpene, we're expecting a very clean solution, and we're looking forward to this. That's the thinking of the governor. That's how he wants to see things happen. He's putting in place processes of things that can go on. Whether you're the one there or not, whether you're standing there or not, things should be going on. That is how the administration is running. Humanitarian interventions have also been at its ebb during the pendency of these 3 years. As part of the people-oriented governance approach, the administration has sustained large-scale humanitarian interventions aimed at supporting vulnerable populations within our state, widows, senior citizens, low-income households, and particularly the vulnerable. As you are aware, over 650,000 households have so far benefited in phases 1, 2, 3 of the free food distribution program. And that will continue as the next phase is about to be launched. And more and more and more people will have access to this. These are intervention programs to help people, particularly those who need that help. I mentioned earlier the senior citizens intervention, which we have over 12,000 beneficiaries. Of course, the Arise Care programs, the Arise Compassionate Homes, of course, and then support to vulnerable families, and all of that we had told you earlier. The Arise Compassionate Homes, we had told you that 450 so far out of Plan 500 are ready. Of course, the other 50 are in the works and will soon come on stream. And so many other indirect interventions that's helping people and families across the state. Very especially because if we give this briefing and don't mention something about Ibom Deep Seaport, I know that that's where the first salvos of questions will come. And of course, the Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties and the Honorable Commissioner for Finance and concurrent Commissioner for Special Duties and Ibom Deep Seaport. Did you hear my language? I said concurrent Commissioner for Special Duties and Ibom Deep Seaport will shed more light. But that transformational project is ongoing. It's designed to position Akwa Ibom State as a leading maritime logistics and industrial hub within the West African sub-region, particularly the Gulf of Guinea. And there have been key milestones recorded in the delivery of this project. And very recently, you saw the presentation of the final feasibility studies which took place in this hall by the committee responsible, Ibom Deep Seaport Technical Committee, and the recent approval by the federal government, which was just last week, as Ibom Deep Seaport, as one of the 5 being considered in this country for implementation. Power sector reforms is going on. Power is affecting all of us, and we are all eager to hear and know what's happening in the power sector. In September 2025, His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State adopted the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Sector Reforms Program after the Electricity Summit under the government, and has sustained the implementation of key reforms since then to reposition the power sector and enable the state to take ownership of its electricity market. The Honorable Commissioner for Power will shed more light when questions come in that area in what's going on. But so far, I'd like to say that the state has established the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Regulatory Commission, EKSEC, and appointed commissioners that have already been cleared by the State Assembly and will be sworn in the coming days to ensure this happens. And that agency is designed to provide oversight in the whole electricity ecosystem or market within the state, just like you have with the National Electricity Regulatory Commission. And of course, government has incorporated the Electricity Holding Limited to manage the state power assets and coordinate all of that. As part of the ongoing restructuring of the government, has also reacquired its shares in 4Power Consortium, that is the Port Harcourt Electricity, which was a precursor to the creation of the Electricity Distribution Company. And many more efforts that have been geared to improving power supply, including the Rural Off-Grid program that will soon be launched. So the administration has strengthened collaboration between state and local government to accelerate the off-grid initiative, and we're looking to this happening soon. So looking ahead, government will implement these reforms very methodically to ensure that Akwa Ibom State comes on a league or possibly become the first to provide self-sustaining power to itself, including, of course, the paying off of the loans forever of Ibom Power. I'm sure the finance people will say a little more on this. We can't finish this briefing without talking about the information sector, because I know questions will come. And this is very vital in the existence and the growth of any organization. In fact, it is a wire, because it is what happens every day. So there's been very conscious effort by the administration of His Excellency Governor Umono to pay attention and then revive some of the moribund assets in that sector and empower the sector to do the things it needs to do. I'm sure some of our brothers and sisters from the AKBC, let me preempt you before you ask. Yes, you will be asking about the IBC project. So the Ibom Broadcasting Corporation project is on course, and very much so. Your equipment acquisition is complete right now. The final feasibilities, special duties will shed more light on the construction is being done, and of course you can see the place is already set, and that is the least part of this project. The technical part is the one that needed more time, and that has been done. It was awarded, the equipment could have been acquired, digital, modern, ultra-modern broadcast organization and equipment that's set, and we're just waiting for when they will tell us that they're ready to ship. Youth development, of course, has taken a center stage in the state. As you are aware, several programs have been designed to train and empower our youth and grow them in terms of entrepreneurship development and provide, of course, technical knowledge and support, including the recent construction and commissioning of the Youth Development Center built across the state with the pilot commissioning which took place in Oron only few days ago. Business grant support and all of that have been extended to our youths, and that in several numbers, and that will continue. Government has strengthened the NYSC Welfare Support Scheme, and including the allowances paid to NYSC members of Akwa Ibom extraction serving in all parts of Nigeria, and those from other parts of Nigeria serving in Akwa Ibom. From August last year to April, over 2 billion naira have been spent in that direction in payment of those allowances without missing, up to April. So for those who were saying NYSC, the support allowances, His Excellency the Governor announced was suspended, that is not correct. The figures is about 2,078 between August last year and April this year. So that's ongoing. For those who may have problems with their accounts or maybe their alerts didn't drop, they should do well by just checking how to know why perhaps their funds didn't drop. But being stopped, no. Capital, no. The process is on. Sports development is also very key to this administration. As you know, His Excellency the Governor is very keen on the youth talent development in sports. That's why he brought back the Akwa Ibom State Sports Festival, which took place last year, and work is going on now for the second Akwa Ibom State Sports Festival under this administration, including the acquisition of sporting equipment, implements, and tools for the other sports people. And all of the sporting programs are taking place. The Honorable Commissioner for Sports is here. If there are things you want to clear in the sports development area, and particularly, I'm sure you will ask about the Sports Academy, and he will tell you that work has started in that place and will continue. Women development and social welfare has held a place of pride in the scheme of things under the Arise agenda in this administration. As we wind down, the administration has sustained interventions targeted at women development, social inclusion, and child welfare. Government has conducted sensitization programs, assisted and supported children, and kept the children in government homes, over 430 of them, as at the last we checked, 430 of them across government homes, and those who recently benefited from employment and scholarships abroad when His Excellency the Governor celebrated his birthday with the children and the special homes. Some of you were there, and you saw the compassion that he threw at these people. And of course, the digital economy and science area is taking a completely new look in the state, as e-governance is taking its firm root in the administrative processes of Akwa Ibom State, whether it's in terms of procurement or in terms of employment or in terms of taxation or collections or payment, whatever. The processes have been digitized, and there's so much going on in that area. And the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Digital Economy will shed more light on that as we move on. So in conclusion, before we take some notations from our colleagues, the achievements recorded across sectors demonstrate the unwavering commitment of the administration of His Excellency, Pastor Umoino, PhD, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, to the implementation of the Arise agenda. So far, he has ticked the boxes of the Arise agenda and acquitted himself so creditably well, to the amazement and excitement of Akwa Ibom people and other Nigerians. And we are very excited that all of this is taking place at this time. The people-focused governance and programs and inclusive approach of the administration continues to consolidate the economic gains of the Arise agenda, expand opportunities, strengthen infrastructure, improve security, and uplift the living standards of Akwa Ibom people across all 31 local government areas. The administration remains resolute in its commitment to delivering sustainable development, economic prosperity, and shared progress amongst our people, including all of us seated in this room. Gentlemen of the press, at this point, we will obviously invite some of our colleagues to throw a few lights, particularly in the key areas, and we'll sit down and moderate the question and answer. But so far, like I always say, let breaking news not break the society. I thank you so much for listening, and may God bless us all. No, I will first invite the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Digital Economy, because there's something trending everywhere, talking about Science Park or Science Center. He will come and throw more light on the Science Park initiative and, of course, this position and the thinking of the administration of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Honorable Commissioner, please, you want to speak from there? Okay, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Distinguished EXCO members and colleagues, distinguished members of the for the state respected media professionals, our partners in telling the Akwa Ibom story. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really grateful. I don't have 86 paragraph. Yeah, mine is really short. Just to throw more light on the perhaps the Science Park or Youth Development Center. I thought we should start by what is the purpose of any infrastructure? What is the purpose of any project? I think we should start at that point. And I thought every infrastructure decision should be judged, by the purpose. Why is it built? And I thought at the time, it was very valid decision to perhaps have a science park. You would agree with me, it was intended to do few specific things, to give young people and innovators access to infrastructures they need. Internet access at the time was very expensive, if you all remember. Cyber cafe were a thing then. For you to have connectivity, you need to have a very expensive VSAT. Computing powers, were very, very, judging from today, it was very difficult. So what it meant was that you need to gather a lot of people into a central location, to give them resources that perhaps they could not afford individually. So that was the purpose of a science park. And also to, be able to encourage our young people, to work together. But what is the definition of a science park? I just thought I should throw more light. I mean, using some of the technologies or some of the Science Park Association. The International Association of Science Park defines these as an organized, if you like, managed space by professionals, and it says here very well, to increase wealth and community by promoting innovation and competitiveness. So the purpose is to encourage people to talk together to be competitive. And also the United Nations for Trade describes science, technology, and innovative parks as the same thing. As a center to innovate, grow, concentrate resources, concentrate expertise at the same location. So classically, this is a property-based type definition. But let's look at the definition that fit our time. Let's look at the definition that fit our time and purpose. I think a science park today at its core is a good spot, is a convenient spot. You can bring people together, give them a good workspace, give them internet, reliable internet, give them very good, almost constant power supply if you like, and more importantly, give them the experts to guide knowledge discovery. That is what a science park is. Now, so the question then is, how do you deliver a science park today? And I think that's the question our governor, Pastor Omena, has answered very well. So instead of going for a centralized location, he thought that it's really good that this is decentralized, to the different local government. So that's a very key point we needed to, to address. So if those things that were scarce before are now freely available and not tied to location, so why don't we get these capabilities, to a central position so that everybody, can access them? Another thing I want to mention, which I've probably alluded to, is the technology. I've suggested the cost of internet. I've suggested the cost of power. Today, connectivity is no longer a reason why you should gather people into a central location. We all know that. As we sit here, most of you have really good, if you like, smartphones, perpetually connected to the internet as you sit now, compared to, God knows, 20 years ago. So that is not alone is not a good reason to gather people, together. So things have dramatically changed. Today we are washed with quite a lot of data. I mean, we hear people say big data, big technology, a lot of data. Then it wasn't. Now it is. Again, this is not a good reason to, if you like, congregate people into a single location. However, the government is not rejecting the idea of a science park, but rather we're sequencing it. We thought there's a core need and a really critical need to make sure that every local government has a good place, where there is good internet, where there is constant power supply, where there are reliable computers, where there are skilled expertise to guide the knowledge delivery, and more importantly, put money in the pockets, of our young people. This is the motive, and this is the plan, of this government. So I thought it's important to say that, and just to, if you like, wrap this up. A lot of people have written quite a few things. Some have suggested that, perhaps this governor is abandoning the plan of other governors. That is not correct. On several occasions, this governor has, in fact, called himself or alluded to that he has a finisher's anointing. So if you have that, if he says that, it means that he's good at finishing what other people started. And a good example, my colleague, Honorable Commissioner for Information, have given out a scorecard of some of those, like the aviation industry, for example. We saw that His Excellency Victor Otta started that. His Excellency Akpabio, added value by doing the buildings. We saw that, Udom Emmanuel, for example, His Excellency brought in Ibom Air, made sure he flew. And this governor have done well in terms of increasing the fleet, the MRO, the new runway, the new terminal, and now we have an international, airport. So he has that capability. So it's not just about, if you like, abandoning ideas. He has the capability to continue where others stop. Another good example is the Tropicana area, which my colleague has mentioned. So if by any means the Ibom Science Park was viable in that light, as of today, I think he would have, ensured that project, is finished. We've also heard talks of people saying, oh, the governor said he wants to give out the land. I think any process, if that were to happen, I think what the governor was trying to say, or which he said rather, was that the land shouldn't just land, that property shouldn't just lie like that wasted. It was an encouragement to investors, to engage, to see what that property, could be used for. So I think it's very clear. He's got the finisher's anointing. As far as the youth-friendly center is concerned, I think that is a clear demonstration of that finisher's anointing, but taking it closer, to the youths that really need the skill. I also want to say here, I think in the past, and you would agree to this, in the past, youths would chase after technology. But in today's world, what we're seeing is that the technology has to chase after our youths. And this is the vision. This is the reason that why the governor is taking this youth-friendly centers or youth development centers, to the different local government. We've had a lot of interest from different experts saying we want to play a role. And I was expecting that conversation, not the conversation we're seeing online now. I think what we wanted to see was to see how, different experts will come in and support and make sure that this vision is realized quicker. And one of such experts, we've been able to formalize, and on the 22nd of June, we will be starting an ICT training for young people at the Youth Development Center at a run for 3 months. So as time goes on, the Ministry of Youth, which this capability sits, would explain and perhaps put out the media works. But that's the kind of expectation, we're having. So for me, Ibom Science Park, yes, we agree. The proof is on ground, and the proof for now is in our run. I think the challenge for us, and maybe as for the Ministry of Science and Digital Economy, is to make sure that we can start to capture the impact if you like, youth development centers will make in each of the local government. For example, how many will be completed? Today we have around completed. We expect in the next few weeks, 4 I'm told are already nearing completion. They're just finishing. And the next thing is, how do we now record the number of youths that pass through this place? How do we digitize, the experiences they have and record it and be able to capture and tell the public that indeed Ibom Science Park is now in the youth development centers, and a lot of youths are going through this in local government and making progress. So I think that is big. And also, how many of these youths are empowered? How many of them, this training has given them access to go into employment? Those are some of the numbers we'll be willing to showcase. And we've created the infrastructure, to be ready to report this. So please, I would really ask. The science park was a good idea at the time. It was. Nobody's saying it was not. And I've explained that very carefully. When you look at the technology, when you look at the computer, when you look at the needs at that time, the science park was a very valid idea. But the times have changed. We must accept that. The times have changed. There's no two-way. Its objective was to access technology, innovation skills, mentorship, enterprise, wealth creation. Again, but we can achieve this far more effectively by taking this, closer to the youth. We thought once we have a connected, connected centers, in which, for example, Oron is just a node. Once we have connected centers where our young people, can visit and be trained, that will still achieve that objective. So again, I'd like to conclude by, again, saying that in the past, I was one of those young person. We used to go after technology, but today, even everyone in this room has got technology sitting with them. So this is where we're going, and this is what the governor has done. I'll be happy to take further questions around this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Science and Digital Economy, Dr. Frank Ekpenyong. Gentlemen of the press, I think we have done most of the talking, which is unusual in a setting like this, because you should actually be the one doing the talking and we do the answering. So I think we're going to reverse the order very soon, and then you take your turn. But in doing that, we must not lose sight of the TSA, because I think Dr. Frank forgot to talk about that. I'm sure when that comes up, because that's really helping ramp up revenue in the state and blocking leakages, and the state revenue, internally generated revenue, is growing. And the target of His Excellency the Governor is to see how we can pay staff salaries from IGR, so that whatever comes in can now be devoted to projects and capital development. And of course, the transportation sector, you should also remember the ongoing CNG initiative that's going on. One of the best CNG facilities being built right here in Uyo, on the Goodluck Jonathan Boulevard. And of course, the 50 CNG buses that were ordered, the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation just told me that the first sets arriving this month June. Third week of June. Third day of June. In the next few days, by Wednesday, the first set of CNG buses will be on ground. So you need to find time, go see what's happening at the terminal. There's an academy there. There's a training center. There's an automated automobile workshop. And of course, the bus station, the automated bus station will now be built all across the 31 local government areas, so that with the card system, you can just buy your travel pass for a week, and then you go where you want to go across the 31 local government areas. Of course, and the maritime infrastructure in Oron, that's going on very well. I don't know, in those days, I'm sure so many of our reporters must have, out of curiosity, gone to see what's happening there. The shoreline protection is totally complete. Of course, the jetties, the passenger jetties, the JTF jetties, the tourism jetties, all of them are there. And then, of course, the cold room, the terminal building that is there, with a cold room for our people who are in fishing and sea, maritime, within the blue economy, so they can have where to store their products and have value for their products. That's going on in that place, with the rehabilitation of the old National Museum and acquisition of some of the assets that will create recreational and hospitality facilities within the Oron window. I just thought to mention that. So we will take questions in a very calm and very calm manner. You will raise your hands, they will bring the mic towards you, and you say who you are and where you are directing your question, so that the appropriate person, a commissioner or member of ESCO, will answer your question pointedly. You may say who you are, where you work, straight to the question. Please, no too many follow-up, straight questions. And then we'll just spend maybe 2 minutes or 3 answering each question so we can wrap this up. I thank you so much. Who is firing the first salvo? Yeah, we start with the gentleman in black suit, row 2. And the recorder should take note of all the questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me begin by saying that Akwa Ibom State is getting better by the day.
Please tell us who you are and where you
My
work.
name is Udema Basiudofa. I work for New Vision magazine. Let me say that Akwa Ibom is getting better by the day. But I like to observe that one of the annoying concomitants of social development is mounting refuge. So I want to advocate that more funds should be injected into the waste management agency to employ more sanitation workers and procure sanitation equipment. Then my second concern is on safety. Thankfully, this administration has done very well by elevating safety into the front row of public policy. But I want to ask, what is to be done with the rascally transport workers, transport operators, and construction companies in Akwa Ibom State? And if you allow me, thirdly, while we await...
We take 2 questions from you. I think we do with that too, so that you can see the whole 400 people.
Thank you very much.
We will need to take from others. So your question is that we will take them in sets. So number 1, from Udeme Udofa on waste management and transportation. So that question, the chairman of the environmental transportation... No, he's asking that more funding. So you need to also tell us whether you are able to do your work. Okay. Let's move on. Next person, the lady.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I am Grace Anderson, and I am a columnist with The Eye. My question is on the agricultural component of the Arise agenda. Your Excellency, on the 15th day of September 2021, the bill on the anti-open grazing was signed into law by the Akwa Ibom State government. Your Excellency, 5 years after that, it's still a very common sight to find cattle rearers going around with their cattle and destroying farmlands belonging to farmers within Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, this is detrimental to the agricultural revolution component of the Arise agenda. My question is this, sir. What are the modalities being put in place to safeguard those seedlings that the farmers have planted? Thank you.
Thank you. We take the next one, 3, so we can take answers. So let's go to the left flank, please. Go to the left. The other side. Yes.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Samuel Enobongakman. I work for Comfort 95.1 FM. I've heard all you said, Honorable Commissioner. Lofty ideas, lofty projects. But there is one thing that bothers some of us, and that is the issue of madmen on the streets of Akwa Ibom. We can't be building tourism, and we deliberately pretend as if we are not seeing these insane fellows on our streets. Secondly, sir, no, not madmen. Madmen are women, and most of them walk around nude. When we are taking our children to school, they see all manner of things on the road. That's one. Secondly, sir, the issue of similarly those children out of school kids. If you go to Maitama in the evening, go to 4-lane junction, by 2-lane junction, that traffic light, you see those children loitering, begging, and constituting nuisance to the society. Which ministry? Because I need to ask, I'm confused too. Is it humanitarian or women affairs that is in charge of that, sir? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We will answer the first 3. so we don't lose track of sight. So the first one was more essentially a comment by Udemu Ford and Udemu Dofa was essentially a comment asking for more funding for environmental management. We appreciate that. It's an essential part, but the environmental management is doing its work so well, and the chairman is here, and he might say to us a few of the things that he's doing. Mr. Chairman, please may you step forward and tell the audience what you're doing in environmental management under this administration to help keep the state clean. Including all the equipment acquired and everything that you're doing to help keep the state clean.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, for your information. Gentlemen of the press, thank you, Udemu Dofa. First and foremost, yours was not a question but a commendation and a suggestion. Akwa Ibom State as it stands today, arguably, is the most peaceful state.
You may wish to speak up, sir.
And so many of our brothers and sisters have come into Akwa Ibom State to do business. You will notice that the population in Akwa Ibom State have increased, so also is the volume of waste in Akwa Ibom State. His Excellency the Governor had also purchased some equipment from swing arm trucks to pull-up trucks to compacting trucks. We have also engaged evacuators and a whole lot. Yes, we've not got to that terminus at Kwem. The government will continue to purchase more equipment. And above all, I thought you would even talk about Uyo Village Road, because that was a complaint in those days. By the grace of God today, we've taken away that waste from Uyo Village Road, taken it to Ntarian, done about remediation, a whole lot of things. So we'll continue to do our bidding, but we also need the press to also sensitize the people about indiscriminate dumping of waste. We are doing our best, but yet we have not gotten to that terminal circle. We will continue. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, may we to shed more light on and internal security on the modality for managing these open grazing issues. Thank you very much. The aspect of the law, the Attorney General had done his part. The law was
Thank you very much, Honorable Ania Kanumana. So this person will answer with General Koko Essien, the Commissioner for Internal Security. She has talked about the issue of anti-grazing law, and we have an enforcement team that is handling the issues of cows invading people's farms. And when General comes up, he will tell us more about because we're working, when I said when General comes up, it's because it's a partnership. They deal with the security part in collaboration with us. And let me also say here that these security issues concerning people's farms, cows invading people's farms, is something that is of great concern to us, and we are doing things to tackle it. But we also find out sometimes that some of the cries for help that you hear, some of them, when you trace it down to certain locations, you find out that some of those things are just copied from different locations and pasted. I'm coming on your screen. General, please come over. We have a case. We have a case in point here where somebody sent us a video. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm saying that, yes, we have issues of cows invading people's farms. Yes, we accept that, and we have an enforcement team on ground. But we are also saying that when they send messages to us as a ministry, that we also check out with the enforcement team to verify whether some of those messages are what exactly they are. That's what we are saying. We're not ruling out the fact that we don't have cows invading people's farms.
Thank you, Dr. Ofo. If I may, let me just start from the point of cows on the street, because that's something I get a lot of calls from people saying, there are cows on my street in Shelter Africa, there are cows on my street in Await housing. Please go back and read the law on open grazing by the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. The law does not say that there will not be cows. It does not ban cows on the street. So understand that, number one, we work with the law. The law does not ban cows on the street. Yes, that's the absolute truth. Let's be clear. No, you can murmur all you want with all due respect. But if the law does not say that cows cannot be on the street, I cannot ban cows on the street. Let's be clear. If you have difficulties with that, no, it has to go back to the House of Assembly. So I'm coming back to the issue of farms.
Wait.
Please,
So let him
I'll come
finish
to
his
the issue of
explanation
farms.
so you can ask your question.
Yes, please, I'll come to the issue of cows in the farmlands. But I just wanted to clear that point that there is a law by the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly on open grazing. And that law, please go look at it, did not ban cows on the street. So I can only implement what is on the law. Now, coming to the issue of the farms, the state government has an anti-grazing task force that handles the issue of farmlands being ravaged by herders. Now, I will tell you the truth. That has reduced. I'll tell you that has reduced. Like Dr. Ofo said, there's a lot of times people just see something on the internet and they start posting it. We do know also that, yes, they have been going into people's farms from time to time. We have an anti-grazing task force. That anti-grazing task force has a number, and I'm going to share that number again with you. And a lot of times that we've had cases of herders entering people's farms, this task force has traced those based on the ones that have been reported, because you also have to understand that if you do not report, there's a limit to what the government can do. I'm going to share the number now, and please share it. Luckily, all of you are media people. Share it across the communities so that when such things happen, report to us. One of the good things we've done with the anti-grazing task force is that the task force includes former herders, Fulani people that are former herders. And they can try. We've had cases where, herders enter somebody's farm in Ibesikbo. This guy traced them all the way to Oroganam because they have the knowledge. They've been there before. They've been part of that system before. They could track those cows all the way to wherever they are. But not when you've reported the matter 2 months after. If it's reported immediately, these guys can track. So the team includes former herders, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Justice, the security agencies, and the Ministry of Internal Security. So I'm going to give you the number. Please take this number and share it widely so that whenever there's such infractions, you just let us know on time. We can track them, and we've always, any farmer that we've been able to track herders that have entered their farms, there have been compensation from those herders. So, and that's one of the reasons why this thing has reduced drastically. So I'm going to share the number with you now. I'm going to share the number. The number is 0806 644 6555. I say it again, 0806 644 6555. That's the number that we use. If there's any infraction in any of your communities, please let the people call this number, and we'll send the anti-grazing task force out there as soon as possible. And I always want to reiterate that, as soon as possible, because if it takes 2-3 weeks, a week, it's difficult to track those cows. But if you can send that information as early as 24 hours, wherever those cows have moved to, this task force has the capability to track the cows that enter the particular farm and where they are at the particular moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner for Internal Security and the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, for that collaboration. Bottom line, there's a task team, a task force working on anti-grazing to enforcement. That's the bottom line, and the number has been shared so that if there's any problem anywhere, please call the number so you can find solutions through that. Thank you. We have one more question on from Samakwan on mad people and so on and out of school kids. Yes, I think that is within the purview of the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Ministry of Education. But before they come on stage, I would like to say very clearly that His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State is very, very clear on the management of people who may have these issues found on our streets. And I'm sure the Commissioner for Women Affairs will shed more light. It's about taking them for rehabilitation, not just clearing mad people. If you find a mad person, that mad person should be taken to a psychiatric hospital for rehabilitation. And that's the approach. And of course, the issue of out-of-school children, they will be able to tell us. But I think Akwa Ibom has one of the best educational records in the states, and we can throw the numbers to you shortly. Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs and Education, you can do this jointly. No, out-of-school children.
Thank you so much. Concerning the question of mad people, I have evidence here on my phone. We are working on these people batch by batch. Right now, we have them in psychiatric hospital, Eket. The ones that we have finished treating are here on my phone. We cannot pack all of them in one day because we still have other projects to handle. And again, I could remember the one we just finished last month, and we reintegrate her with the family. And right now, the person is returned to, Plaza. And you think of this. If you have taken this person to treatment in the psychiatric hospital, and you reintegrated the person with the family, is it the government that should go to the home of these people to sit with them? And we also empower them. This empowerment is to help them to do a little thing, to engage them in a little thing that they can do for themselves, to develop them and take them out of the former situation. But it is pathetic that even the family of these people does not even care. How comes that we finish treating this person? If you go to Eket Psychiatric Hospital, you see the record, and not just 1 month, the person is returned to Plaza, and she has started smoking all kinds of things. Well, it is the duty of government to take care of these people, and we are doing it judiciously. When we finish with these badges, we go for the next badge. But sometimes it marvels me that most of these mad men and mad women are not from Akwa Ibom State. And that is where the difficulty comes. Some of them are in our homes. What do we do? How do we do? Because some of them do not know where they came from, and we cannot throw them on the street. It is a burden. So I know that we have done what we're supposed to do. Concerning the issue of the girls that stood on the road to create nuisance, we are putting machinery on ground it is more or less a security issue that cannot be exposed here. Very soon you will hear from us what we are going to do with them. For the out-of-school children, I know that no parent would like his or her child to be out of school. But what happens that we still see pockets of these children on the road, on the streets, is what we don't know, because His Excellency has put machinery on ground to make sure that every child should be in school. But as a ministry, we have taken it upon ourselves to make sure that any child that is found during school period, we get that child out. And we are working with the police to do this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Commissioner for Education. Please keep it very brief. Keep it very brief.
Thank you very much.
And tell us the numbers.
All right, currently Akwa Ibom State runs on 3.5% of out-of-school children, which is lower than the national average that hits upon 34.5 in some levels. So that's the 2024 statistics. And given the number of interventions that have been carried out in education in the state since the administration of His Excellency, Pastor Dr. Mwabaseno, talking about the model primary schools and also extensions in various other interventions at the basic level, secondary, and the tertiary, we would have, upon the new statistics that should be out, a lower percentage in the context of out-of-school children. But whether you're running from the South-South statistics to that of the national average, Akwa Ibom State runs at one of the lowest as it has to do with the national average for out-of-school children. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What the Commissioner said, in essence, is that out-of-school children percentage has been dropping since the coming of the administration of His Excellency Pastor Mweno. It was at about 6% and has come down to 3.5% out of a national average of 34%. So which means there is progress, positive growth in that sector in ensuring that we nip these problems. And don't forget, the free education program is running. So there's no reason for a child not to be in school in Akwa Ibom State. And it's also a clarion call on parents to ensure that children of school age are in school, because you are not paying, parents are not paying a dime for children to be in school from primary to senior secondary school level. And billions of naira spent by the governor in the education sector to ensure that children are kept in school. Subventions are paid, infrastructure provided, teachers are supported. So it's now a clarion call for the journalists. Please let us help in enlightening our people to ensure that their children are in school. And don't forget, the Child Rights Act law is still in force. Meaning, any child of school age who is not in school, the parent ought to be held responsible. And this is a message to parents. Thank you. We'll take another set of 3 questions, and you keep it straight, please. We don't want 3, 4 questions at a go. So we will go to this, to the right flank, and we'll go to the lady in the middle.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. My name is Dr. Blessing Isonwuyo. I work with the AKBC Television. My question is on the Arise Home Farm program. At the inception of this administration, the government encouraged civil servants to go into farming, at least something to support their families. The government went ahead to give civil servants a day off, a day or 2 of the week off for those whose assignments allowed them to have such free days. We are in essential, services. And then when the Arise Home Farm program came, I know of some civil servants who participated last year. They registered. They made the 2-minute video. They had the extension officers visit, and they were told everything was okay. But at the point of payment, they were not there. My investigation shows that it is because they were civil servants. That when it gets to the point of payment, since they are BVN, their names and possibly the account details is already there in the government payroll, that they will be, struck off. My question is, why should civil servants be excluded from this scheme? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We've taken note of that on the Arise Home Farm initiative. We will go to the back left. Okay, middle. Then we'll go to the left. Yeah, the gentleman in blue. Who is that, Pastor Joshua?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay,
we are listening.
So, I am Apostle Samuel Joshua. I publish Golden Times newspaper and present Audacity of Truth TV. So I want to thank you so much for your contribution so far in enabling the free flow of information in Akwa Ibom State as an Honorable Commissioner. Congratulations, sir. And I want to say that you have helped our only electronic media, the AKBC TV and radio, as much as possible to be on the airwaves. But sir, I have said this before, and I would like to say it again, that AKBC radio is the only radio that depends solely on public power in Nigeria. Sir, what we need now is that the state government is working on the new station of AKBC. That's good. But while that one is being done, we should not forget the existing AKBC TV and radio, because that is the only hallmark of the station. But supposing we expect AKBC radio and TV to make a lot of money to sustain itself as compared to private radio and television stations, that will not really work, because we will not be able to compete based on ownership and control of the stations favorably with the private sector, because there are many things that we cannot be accepted. Even some claims cannot be accepted in the public radio station. So, sir, more effort should be given, and I suggest subvention, monthly level, should be given to AKBC TV and radio for it to succeed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We now take the third one to the left. So we take the last in the set of three before we come back and begin to wind down. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioners. Good afternoon, my colleagues. My name is Itoro Eti. Sir, Akwa Ibom is a major oil producing state. But unfortunately, sir, the road leading to where we make these funds, the resource from the Ikedibon Road, is in a very sorry state. What is the government doing about that, sir? Just a few meters away from this place, we have the state police headquarters, sir. But access road just by the Korok Barabia is in a very sorry state, sir. What is being done about that? Then, sir, the situation of power across the state is also in a very sorry state. I want to ask the Commissioner for Power, sir, what are you doing to ensure that not just the generation of power, that the generated power is duly transmitted and distributed across the state, and not just for the privileged ones at a wait housing or Soma and Shelter Afrique. How will the poor survive when they don't have power? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll take one from the civil society. We'll take one from the civil society to conclude that set. Franklin.
Yeah.
Please, let's hear.
Commissioner and members of the high table, my name is Otuekong Franklin Isong. I speak for the Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, CRAN. I just want to raise a few issues. The first one borders on potholes within the Uyo metropolis and its environs. From the airport road axis, the Ifa Big Junction, the back road, that approach is deplorable. And then when you drive around, when you drive down the back road to Iduruan, local government council, the council excavated the state road so that those who are living in Iduruan can no longer access the back road. And when we approach the councils, they claim that the state government gave them the right or powers to excavate the state government road. This is very worrisome. The second issue I want to raise is the issue of the Akwa Ibom State Civil Service recruitment exercise. Please, what is the update of this? Then the transparency in the handling of the exercise, we will expect to also hear from the relevant agency. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So, gentlemen of the press, honorable commissioners, we will take this set of questions as a penultimate because lunch is getting cold. The first question came from Dr. Blessing Ikosonwoyo, KBC, on Arise Home Farms. And I will request that the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and the Commissioner for Digital Economy to clarify this. But it's a straightforward thing.
Thank you very much. She said two things. The first thing is the Back to Farm initiative, which His Excellency set out every first Friday of the month for people to go back to farm, right? And then she linked it to the Arise Home Farm scheme. I know that the government is a government for everybody. She has talked about the selection process. The Commissioner for ICT and Digital Economy will speak on that. But let me also say here that there are several things that civil servants benefit from that others don't benefit from. The governor gave civil servants houses. Other people didn't get it. Civil servants get 13th month because they are working. There are so many people that don't have those kind of privileges. So if 500,000 can put a smile on someone's face who does not have the benefits that civil servants have, I think it's just something very small that they should be appreciated for the efforts that they are putting in those directions. Because it's a case of live and let live. It's live and let's live, please. So let's learn to spread the love. Because if you tell, I know people will be calculating that 500,000 is given to one person, and then if you calculate what the civil servant gets and several other fringe benefits. So please, let's share the love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Can I just add? I think, sorry, I didn't get your name, but Blessing. Madam Blessing, you would also recognize that. In fact, you acknowledge that the government always gives you a day off. Don't forget that day off is a paid day, so that is some form of grant. That is a paid day. That's some form of grant. So take note, yeah? And why I have the floor so that I don't come back here, I probably want to address the employment. Maybe is that a good time? Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, can I just say, if you look at the numbers, we had 35,000 huge people applied for that process, about 12,000 something at the top of my head. Got 50 and above and were invited for interview. And really tedious process, and the commission is doing a fantastic job. I don't speak for them, but I do know, because we were the ones that, told them the list of people to be interviewed. And not just you, everyone is waiting for the outcome. And I think in the next few weeks, we would have the outcome. So that is where it is. But as you can imagine, it was a really tedious process. We did the first set of invites for people to be interviewed. As you can imagine, some people had reasons for a second invite. We had to re-invite them, make sure everyone has the opportunity. We've now completed that process for the Civil Service Commission bid. So I expect in the next few weeks, we should have an outcome, which obviously the Office of the Head of Service is coordinating with the State Civil Service Commission. However, for the Audit Service Commission and the State Secondary Education Board, those interviews will commence again, I think, in the next few weeks. They had issues with staffing, with board membership, which I think has been addressed. So that's a little bit. But they are not as much as the main civil service, which was managed by the Civil Service Commission. So we expect that to go very swiftly. While, you're the people that take government messages to to everyone. Can I also use this opportunity we already know the government wants to employ 1,000 teachers. That's going to start also, so they should look out for the employment portal. So this will come out, shortly for that advert. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. To add to that clarification in the recruitment area, let's not always forget the fact that these 35,000 people that went through the CBT, His Excellency the Governor in his magnanimity spent almost 1.7 billion to ensure the payment of transportation, stipend, and allowances to every child of Akwa Ibom that ever went for that examination, whether he or she passed or failed. Close to 1.7 billion. We shouldn't lose sight of this. It's a lot of money. And then the Civil Service Commission is taking its time sieving through 12,000. It's an adjoining block to my ministry, and every other day I try to swing around to see what they are doing. It's a lot of work. And like Dr. Frank said, that process is closing out, and very soon I think appointments, once they conclude and submit their reports and it's approved, the appointments will be released. I just needed to add to that. We'll listen to the Honorable Commissioner for Power to shed more light on the power reforms of the administration of His Excellency Governor Moen as quickly as he can, so we can move to the Honorable Commissioner for Works and then conclude this session. Thank you.
The Honorable Commissioner for Information, ladies and gentlemen, I want to first of all thank the person that asked that question about the power sector on behalf of all of us. I'm saying that he asked the question on behalf of all of us because power situation in the state affects every single person here, including myself, including all of the commissioners that are here. So that question was actually asked for and on behalf of all of us. Now, there's this level of ignorance, that is very prevalent as far as power sector is concerned. Some time ago, one of my colleagues, who is also in government, called and reported a situation where electricity was disconnected in his own compound, my very good brother. And I was amazed. You know why? Because as someone who is in government, I'd expected him to be more knowledgeable about the power sector. But strangely, that wasn't the case. Now, I want to inform us, because a lot of us, regardless of our level of knowledge, we are still very not informed about the power sector in the country. Now, before now, the power sector was absolutely domiciled at the center, controlled absolutely by the federal government, until 2023, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the federal government of the Federation, gave us what I call a golden gift. Golden gift in the sense that for the first time we had a president that had the courage to face the establishments that have been controlling the power sector by deregulating that sector completely. And so the Electricity Act 2023 that we had, for the first time, gave the state government the opportunity to determine their energy future. For the first time. What I mean by that is that for the first time, the state government had the constitutional authority to take charge of the entire value chain of the electricity, from generation to distribution. Now, before this time, not even the governor would determine whether you have light or not, because the distribution company, which is PHED, is not a department or an agency of the state government. PHED is a private company that is involved in power distribution with the sole aim of making profit. Nobody can influence them. Okay. Having said so, today, the government of Akwa Ibom State has done a lot, even though we are yet to see the results, because I know that what everybody wants to see is permanent power supply. But electricity, funny enough, is not a commodity that could be bought off the shelf. No matter how much money you have, you can't just walk into the shop or walk into PHED and buy electricity. So there are certain things the state government must do for us to have steady power supply. And that action is actually a journey that requires a lot of actions, a lot of engagement. We are fighting against an establishment that had been firmly in control of power generation and distribution for a very long time, even though it was ineffective. But of course, they were making their fortune. Most of these people are even stronger. I'm speaking to the press. Most of them are even stronger than the state. I may not be very informative. I may not, say more than that, but that's a fact. That is why, in spite of the fact that the Electricity Act 2023 has now empowered the states to take charge of the power sector, we have just about 5 or 6 states that have had the courage to, to do so. Now, what have we done? Firstly, His Excellency the Governor came up with a policy that clearly outlines our roadmap for achieving permanent energy supply. And we went a step further by giving to the state a legislation that will give legal authority to all our, actions. So, after the Electricity Act 2025 of the House of Assembly was assented to by the governor, we did what we called Energy Summit that took place sometime in September last year. That Energy Summit was a situation where we called all the critical stakeholders in the energy sector to come to Akwa Ibom and discuss the energy future of Akwa Ibom State, show them our potentials, let them know that there are chances in Akwa Ibom State for them to invest. And I want to tell you the truth. The state government alone cannot do what we want. The state government alone cannot do what we want. That is the truth. And so that was the essence of that. What's the problem?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think the Honorable Commissioner for Power has made the point. He has made the point. Let him conclude.
Please.
Please, just conclude.
I know what you want to hear, but I know the people, I know the town where we are now. Maybe you just need me to cut it short. Where we are now, we are at the verge of establishing the state electricity market. That is very key. Without Akwa Ibom state electricity market being established, even if you put your by...
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Commissioner, let me take it from there so that we can calm the agitation.
No, information, please. Please. Please, just give me 5 minutes.
No, sir. Please summarize. Summarize. Thank you. Thank you. I think what the long and short of what he's saying to you is that the governor of Akwa Ibom State and the government of Akwa Ibom State, following the roadmap on electricity design after the electricity summit of last year, has put in place a series of reforms that's taking place today that will enable Akwa Ibom people to see power supply in the quickest possible time. And what is going on, and listen to me, what is going on is that the law is there, the guideline is there, the reform is ongoing, an Electricity Regulatory Commission has been set up, commissioners have been appointed, cleared by the House of Assembly, and of course the Ibom Electricity Holding Company Limited has also been incorporated to take ownership of the assets, and all these processes, including the exploration of the mini-grid option to support people in rural areas, working together with the local government council. Off-grid supply is in process. So in the shortest possible time, whether it's main grid or off-grid, electricity will come to our doorsteps. That is the long and short. So the Honorable Commissioner for Works has enough data, but if he was to present what he has, we will need a separate briefing. He will just quickly throw one or two lights, and then we move to the next one. Honorable Commissioner for Works, sir.
The Honorable Commissioner for Information, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me thank Itureti for bringing up the issue on Ibn Road. You know that road, the state government intervened. It's a federal road. The Akwa Ibom state government intervened before we came in. Actually, I came to meet that road. We have been talking with the Federal Minister of Works on how to do what we did. We were able to get one lane fully accessible. And the road ab initio was constructed. When we went to analyze, we discovered that the sub-base, the construction had a lot of faults, and the left lane totally failed in some parts. We had to intervene that one lane is reconstructed. We are still working with the Federal Minister of Works. We still have communication, but bringing this up, I'll also update His Excellency on why we should go back to that particular road so that we can, the road is in Akwa Ibom State. And as we have been saying, the governor has been saying, it's a continuous government. If you look at Arise project, inherited project, we have been working on all inherited projects. But that particular road has federal government component. That is why there have been some. We had to interface with the Federal Minister of Works. On the Ikorok-Marabia road, that road leads to Enensit. That contract was awarded about 2018. That Ikorok-Marabia area was abandoned. We brought it up with His Excellency. If you go to the end, there's a bridge at the Enensit area. We have gone back to that road, rescoped it. You know, the problem we've had, if you look at the expenditure continuation on these roads, the costing on this road as at that time, we had to actually re-awarding this project is like doing the road totally new. At that time, a bag of cement was 5,000. Roads were this. Now, how much is a bag of cement? So reassessing most of these projects are like awarding new roads. But Be that as it may, that Ikorok-Marabia to Enensi Road definitely is on the front burner. HP contractors are the contractors. Just last week, the governor had directed that we rescope it so that we put more funds and energy to make sure that that road is constructed. On the issue of potholes raised by Franklin Isong, if you remember last year, we took a total study of potholes in the state, and we had about 42 square meters in all, about 82 spots. And at that time, His Excellency released, don't forget that some of these roads were done by NDDC. They are roads done by state government contract. They are roads done by NDDC. We've had so many problems going to NDDC projects to fix any NDDC project. Why not work with the State Ministry of Works so that we can work together? Because you bring somebody, they go fix a road, we don't even know the beginning, we don't know the end, we don't even supervise as a State Ministry of Works, because they just bring a letter from somewhere, start doing road without recourse to us. But we are trying to sort out those things so that we can really work in synergy. We have already taken another second phase of patching. We've measured now about 6,382 square meters as additional patches across the state. We'll get the project team to inspect, and then definitely we will work on them. Having said that on that, I must bring to our notice, the Minister of Information has stated these pamphlets. We've given you the total road projects that have been done, both the number of projects done by this administration, 107, the bridges 26, the lengths and kilometers which has arrived at where we are, and inherited about 41 roads, 341 kilometers in length with 14 bridges. What I can tell us on the ramp road, which is about 252 kilometers in all, giving us the total number of roads. Besides that, don't forget that the Minister of Works was in charge of street lighting, traffic light, and bringing generators. Since His Excellency came, he had directed that we change all those generator street lights to solar powered lights. And phases 1 and 2, we have installed 6,286 number, about 155 remaining. And this solar lighting along this road has costed this government about 5.4 billion. This introduction of solar lights, monthly, before now, we're spending about 200 million to buy diesel. And if you transpose it to the cost of diesel now, which a liter of diesel is to, because we spend about 187 million then with 150 liters to fuel all generators across the state. But now we are reduced to maximum of 40 million per month because there are certain facilities that we must still power with diesel. And when you look at the expenditures, what this government has done, you know, governor considers road construction as social amenity, providing social amenity to the state. We normally, for everything done, every road constructed. And, you know, roads, you can never finish working on all roads because even the one that was done years ago, today, wear and tear has caused a reconstruction. And we have, going around the state, we've had this needs assessment by each each federal constituency, which we have compiled and budgeted for those projects to be done. And I want to assure us that we have had challenges. Some contractors have not been forthcoming. For instance, we awarded projects February 2024. By April, prices of things changed almost instantly. You awarded at a cost of this, cost of things, if you remember, there was a sudden. So the major contractors, we had to utilize the contingency to make sure that these roads are done. And our weather has not been so fair to road construction. There are some jobs that we have given deadline that we should, either the contractor performs or we terminate. And we have given them those specific jobs, those contractors they know. Everybody, even I'm from Barenin, they abuse me every day that the major road is not doing. And we go there every day and see it's not our fault. We have awarded, we have paid. What we have done, the government pays contractors on IPCs. If you don't protect your road, we don't pay you. When most of them came, they just started doing earthwork. You can do earthwork 10 times. When rain comes, the earthwork goes again. Now we have insisted that any road you construct, you have to lay up to asphalt level before we pay you any other IPC. And that is what the government has been saying every day, that we pay on IPCs. And I want to thank you because we've gone back. Roads constructed by Julius Berger in those days, they don't fail. If you want to construct 1 kilometer, they will protect the 1 kilometer, the next kilometer, and then we have told all contractors to follow similar routes so that at the end, roads constructed are protected. And we are paying everybody as I went due. I want to thank you. Specific roads that have challenge, the governor is aware. For instance, the, what do you call it? Even the road, the, what do you call it? The Nelson Mandela, we have already scoped it. Very soon we are going there. We have taken care of all the roads. The Tabernacle Road that cuts through Calabar to road, we have given the contractor up to July. If he doesn't make that road motorable, we are going to terminate that contract. I can tell you that we have a monitoring team. We go around, make sure that things are working. And other specific questions, I'm here to give you an insight. But the government is working. We are concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, the Honorable Commissioner for Works and Professor Emeritus, for that explanation. We appreciate you, sir. So I'm very happy you touched on Tabernacle because they were waiting for you, and you got to Tabernacle. And he said, July, either significant progress is seen or the job is gone. That's what you just heard him say. So relax, Tabernacle will come to fruition, and many others. And we've also taken note of the fact that 743 billion, 0.7 trillion naira has been put into roads and bridges alone in 3 years. For me, that is huge. That's huge. And I think we should give a round of applause for His Excellency for doing this. We thank you so much, sir. To conclude that part, I just want to take on the questions and observations made on the State Broadcasting Corporation. Somebody talked about pending when the new project will come on stream, what's happening to the old one, talking about power. Yes, it is true. We're doing everything to keep the current broadcasting outfit, the AKBC, which is transmitting to IBC, well, as it were. It had gone so bad and down. Only last year, before the Christmas Unplugged, we had to get an urgent quick transmitter to enable the radio service return. We're right now working on upping the dilapidated television transmitter so the service can at least come up to what is expected across the entire state, pending when the big project comes on stream as it were, because for that one is already done, equipment ordered, paid for, and everything needed to be done, technically been done regarding that. So that one has been sorted out. So be rest assured, we're working on that to ensure that that service improves better than it is. I think we've taken all of what we have from that, but there are a few, before we take further questions, there are a few questions that came in online. This goes back to the chairman of the State Environmental Protection Service. They're asking here, Mr. Chairman, sir, somebody asked here for increased funding. Are you not getting funding, or what is the situation in your agency? Chairman Environmental, please, you may need to take back the stage and tell Akwa Ibom people the situation in your agency. Obong Prince Ikim.
Respectfully, the Honorable Commissioner for Information. On the issue of funding, we've never had it this good. Prior before this administration, the agency was running on a provision of 122 million for waste management. It is only
Speak up, sir.
In this administration, when His Excellency Pastor Mobasiano took over power, PSG took over power, that the funding was raised from 122 million to 350 million naira. Roads were expanded to incorporate some roads that were built. That is why, if you notice, you will see areas that were not swept prior before today are now being swept. It also increased the number of resource persons. Resource persons from 26. Sweeping, vegetation, and litter control now has about 62 resource persons who are making monies from. So we will all rise for His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Respectfully, Your Excellency. Respectfully, Your Excellency, sir. We were on the issue of funding, sir, for the Waste Management Agency. Prior before your coming, we have never had it this good. The funding to the agency was about 122 million for sweeping, vegetation control, litter control, desilting, and waste evacuation. But sir, the moment you took over power, you increased that budgetary allocation to 250 million for sweeping, vegetation, litter control, waste evacuation, desilting, and others. So you also created jobs for resource persons. As at today, on sweeping, vegetation, litter control, we have about 62 resource persons. Waste evacuation, we have 26 resource persons. Desilting, we have more than 13 resource persons. So you also expanded so that it will not be just Uyo alone. As I speak today, the East-West Road is being swept from the bridge at Utetok down to Ikorabasi. It's being swept. And other places, from Uyo to Ikorabasi, is also being swept. In September of last year, His Excellency also gave a matching order that we should also employ people from different local government areas. As I speak today, 630 million naira is being paid on monthly basis to over 14,000 persons across the states. So there's no local government who don't have sweepers as we speak today. His Excellency, through his political will, had also given us a marching order to move the dump site from Uyo Village Road to Ntakeyang. We did not only move the dump site from Uyo Village Road, we did what we call bow remediation, we did bow augmentation, we did bow sparging, and as we speak today, there is a construction by Amitech on that road. His Excellency also has made budgetary provision for us to build a sanitary landfill at Ntakeyang. And I know, by God's grace, that project, after due drawings, will commence. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Okay, Your Excellency, the people's loving governor, the media-friendly governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Basi Eno PhD, Chairman NUJ, Honorable Commissioners, and our dear friends in the pen profession, please join us in welcoming His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, who loves you all and decided unannounced to walk into this briefing. Your Excellency, we say thank you so much, and we appreciate you. We appreciate what you've done this afternoon. May God bless you. Please be seated. We've just finished that set of questions. Your Excellency, we've done probably about 2.5 hours after the initial briefing. We've been on the question and answer series and taking answers from different departments and commissioners and heads of agencies present here. We've taken about 4 sets of questions that we just concluded. We'll be taking the last 2 sets, and we'll ask who is asking next to indicate. We recognize you, and then you ask your questions. Okay.
And then go back to Thank you. There's no special microphone, don't worry. Good afternoon, everybody. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. I just decided on my own to stop over in this briefing session. I was in a meeting with some investors, but I was monitoring what was going on here. I know I had a running battle with Solomon to get this thing. I'm not somebody that sends people to work and I don't monitor what they are doing. Anybody who knows me by now know that I'm hands-on on my job. That's why when somebody said I'm a sleeping governor, it was the funniest thing in the world that I heard concerning me. In all of my career life, everywhere I've worked, I stay on top of what I do. And I can, on top of my head, tell you everything going on in this state. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, I'll be having a live media chat. It's a national media chat, and the chairman of the NUJ will represent all of you. I'm not boasting. You can blame me about anything else. I may not be a good politician, and I own up to it. But on my job, I'm prepared to take on anybody. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm doing. We may not do it well. We may not be able, that's when I say do it well, we may not be perfect. We may not have gotten there, because when I say we may not do it well now, the mail will publish tomorrow that Umoino says is not doing well. What I'm saying, and I like to put it in proper context, is that
we have not arrived at where we're going. It's a work in progress. But that on top of this job, I'm here, I can answer any question. I'm the only governor in this state to date, and you can check that I've sat in a budget session for weeks with my budget committee. The Commissioner for Budget Planning is here, and we check line by line. And that's why our performance always rise. May not be so at the beginning, because nobody starts out. Of course, the money doesn't come in. You also see what comes in. But you see, we appropriate, and towards the end of the year, we fix what we have to do. And you see, we run through our budget. We are not perfect. We take comments, but not this kind of run him down. It's an Akwa Ibom thing. Pull him down. The day I leave office, the next governor comes. Oh, Umaino was an angel. It has always been like that. Check any governor. When Atta was here, same thing. Chief Godswill Oborakpabio came. Oh, he was not doing anything. Atta was the best. When he left, Governor Odo Emmanuel, oh, Governor Odo. So it's a rhetoric. We don't celebrate our prophets. We kill them only to go and buy cow when they are buried. That's how we are. And it's our nature as Akwa Ibomites. Our parents are alive. We don't build houses for them. Don't buy cars for them. The day they die, we build a new house to bury the person. And then we buy cow for people. The man will never partake in any of those things. So it's our nature. And I think as a people, we need to deal with that nature. When you celebrate what God has given to you, those things appreciate. And the people can now look up to say, my people celebrate me. I owe them so much. I think that is the way I feel life should go. But having said that, I had no business coming here. But like I said, I was in another meeting. But I was monitoring right in that room what was going on. I've heard a few questions. I feel that they didn't answer them well. In fact, some I was texting, Some I was texting to say, look, this is what they are asking. Answer it. And I deliberately wanted all of the leadership team, these are my first 11. So if they cannot by now tell you what they are doing, then if I'm here, it will look as if I'm gagging them. So I wanted them on their own to take charge of what they are doing and say it. I had to tell Prince Ikim to come back and say, because the question was direct, there should be more money into waste management. And they said, no, it was a comment. No, it's a question. I wanted him to say how much I put into waste management so that people will know. Because otherwise, where is the Accountant General? I can ask the Accountant General to publish it tomorrow. We are doing so much, but Prince Ikim now is doing more of Renewed Hope ambassador coordination than to face his job. And so if he doesn't sit back, I'm going to change him. I've had cause to call him on the road. I'll tell my ADC, call him. We take picture, we send to him. I've had cause to do that severally. He knows. He's one of my most trusted guys. But, when he gets to work, I don't have friends. He should sit down and get his job done. And if we keep seeing these deaths on the road, I'm going to do something. Now, the second thing he also talked about that is that we need to educate our people. Our people throw deaths everywhere indiscriminately. And I've told Prince Ikim to let us get a company that can help us work together to turn this waste to wealth. And then you can now start paying people for their refuse. They wait. All we need to do is to look for a company that can partner with the state government. And I throw that open to all of you. That the day we find that company and partner with them, you will not see waste again. In fact, they will be coming to your kitchen to steal your waste. Because when they come, we pay them, we measure it in kilos. I sent him to Lagos. Go and see what Loma is doing. When we see good things, I copy. I'm not afraid. ashamed to copy. I go to copy good things. And people have also come here to see what we are doing that they consider good. Knowledge is sharing. And in the Governors Forum, we do peer review. Oh, this is going on in your state. I'll send my team. Till now, we should, by this time, we should be able to get this waste to wealth thing done. And then you say, okay, bring your waste per kg. This is how much we'll pay you. The day we start that, see if you find any waste in this state again. See, we are talking of power. We can use the waste to generate power itself and supply power to the unserved or underserved areas. So it's something we can do, and it is in his responsibility to do it. He is the chairman. So let us, when we come here and the press, that's why I didn't come, because if I come, they'll say governor's influence, governor's influence. I have no influence. I want us to say it as it is and tell the people the truth. We are working round the clock. We are working round the clock. That's the first thing I like to talk about. The second thing is the Ikorak-Panabia Road. Last week, as if I knew, I spoke with the Commissioner for Works on this Ikorak-Panabia Road. And I said, and it joins with the NNSET. And I said, we need to fix this road. I am from NNSET, and I cannot be an NNSET governor, and my road, my ancestral road is not fixed. It is an aberration. Nobody will come and fix it. And I make no pretense to tell you that that road will be fixed. You know? It's not. Last week, we were doing some inspection, and I told him, I said, bring your team and go and inspect this road. This is an NNSET road. It's an old ancestral road. And you cannot have an NNSET son be governor, and he leaves, and NNSET road is not completed, and it will not be done. And this is no politics. This is because when I finish, I'm going back home. And the people will ask you, what did you do when you were there? So who will I now ask to go and fix an NNSET road for me when I leave? So, Mr. Commissioner, that road within 1 month must be awarded. On the mobile road, see, there is, I'm aware from the briefing I've gotten, state government collaborated and brought money. ExxonMobil then brought money. They fixed the road, gave it to a contractor. The road failed. That road, first of all, I think is a federal road. And number two, we need to engage SEPLAT. And SEPLAT, that's their business. They are CSR. I'm prepared to work with them to fix the road, but we must do it together. I cannot fix the road for them to be making all the money and taking away. That is their road. They should do it. It is a corporate social responsibility, and my brother Kran should take on SEPLAT, not to come and ask me what I'm doing. I think it was one guy from Esreke that asked that question. So they should know that, you know, for you to know that I was having I was monitoring everything. So go, if your company is here and you are passing through this road, making all the money, what stops you from just saying to state government, let us partner? Must government do everything? Gentlemen, I'm fixing 1,300, as of today, 1,348 kilometers of road in this state. And you measure what that is. It takes you to go to Lagos and come back. Even the federal government announced that they are fixing 2,700 and something. Check the president's broadcast. And if the federal government has done 2,700 and something, and a subnational is doing and has completed 1,300 and something, that subnational should be celebrated. You know? We cannot do all the roads. Let's don't deceive ourselves. We will not. But you like people telling you lies. You like people, the fact is that to the subnationals. They can never, ever be enough. We keep appropriating, and so it's, see, my dear brothers and sisters, if you are not a governor, you are not a governor. That's the truth. It's sweet to say from outside, to want, oh, if I am a governor, I will do this. I name it down. Udo governor, bong siren, bong all those area boys, bong female youth, bong all those, bong women boys, bong. Leave all those things you see. Leave all those things. Become a governor. So when I see people who are recycled politicians coming back to tell me stories, I look at them and say, you had the opportunity now. Show me one thing you did. Show me just one that you did. If new people talk, I can listen to them. They may not understand. But anyone who has had opportunity to serve government or be a public servant at any level and still turns back to condemn today, let the person check very well. We are going on campaign now. We'll be on debate. I like to debate them. Let them tell me what they did. Let them tell me. Some of them don't have a house they are living in. We people don't get rented apartment. And they want to be governor. Isn't that true? Let some of them tell me what they have done in life that has succeeded. Tell me anything. Everything they laid their hands on died. And you want me to hand over the state treasury to you? Akwa Ibom, are we that? Is that? This is, I mean, we've gone past that level. Governor, you don't say, I would come for. Drama. So, either get us all save more. The man has all save more. My I'm doing. Come on, do it. But my friend, I can get you some. It will get out of me to Maridama. Lord, this thing, my own name get called. So please, we've talked about that. We've talked about the mobile road. Potholes in Uyo. The Honorable Commissioner gave me a list, which I approved. And we are fixing potholes. So what I want to do today is to set up a committee. We put journalists there. We put CRAN there. Let them constitute that committee in the next 1 week. And they will go around all of these states, in Uyo particularly, to identify potholes. Let us see the ones we gave before and see if they've done it or they've not done it. When we are setting up that committee, I will give you the ones we have awarded. So you see whether they've even done it or they have not done it. You two help us. You are government. The governor is one man. All of us here are government. We must help this government to work. If the governor gives a directive, please sit down, sir. Governor gives a directive. If I was not the kind of governor who goes out to even inspect things, what would have happened? And you now see why projects and things fail in these states. Because you think you've done your part. You expect everyone. Look, any leader is as strong as the people surrounding him. So you think that the thing will be done, then any contractor, there are 2 jobs I will terminate in July. Terminate. Except the contractor mobilizes to site and fixes that job. The Tabernacle Road and the Temekbo, Eserudem, that road, that axis. The road was awarded to my own townsman, Nsig Motors. I met him at Bangton. I met him as a contractor, and good one at that. So we bidded the jobs, and he won Tabernacle Road. We awarded Tabernacle Road the same time we awarded Goretti Spring Road in Ikorekpene. Same time. that Spring Road by U&K. Young boy, small boy, you know. But he's a youth. He has since finished that road. That's Goretti. More technical, more complicated than this Tabernacle Road. Since 2024, this is 2024 February, I wasn't 1 year in office when I awarded the road. Till today. Then I called him to a meeting. I was reported to my kingsmen that came in support. Somebody said, do this road, what is wrong? The last time they said, okay, yeah, no commitment. Till July, I allowed it. I gave that commitment. Because he be no akedo. And I don't manage. Because I make a way wrong. The don't rubia with them pocket platform. A frusen. Esway them more. I will tanga yedo. You know? But you know, I've risen above all of those things. Boom, I wait, say for wait. I have my eyes on the ball. I am very focused, and I will keep doing what I know is right, because I will be accountable to God first and then the people. So we called him. He gave us, if you pay me this much, we will fix this. His IPC was not even up to that. I approved and became a guarantor to pay him. Sanzo. I don't know why the Attorney General, Accountant General is not here. And it's not a good thing. So we paid him. He has given me up to July. I'm sending people there every day. If by July that road is not ready, I will terminate that contract. I've served notice now. Because we can, tomorrow 2024, first term. I was getting from it's a shame. Even if the person is my wife of blessed memory, it's not good enough. At the obo, ya always root for good swag and dog me. Then the other long one. I mean, what is all this? 16. Have we been on local contractor I patronize foreign people. I've on a local contractor. The greatest challenge we have, administration, are the local contractors. You beg them every day, you pamper them. But so you journalists too should help us. Government and me. So, government. When we see things, there are some journalists here that are doing a great job. They send me private memos. Look at this, and we have used them, and I appreciate that. You know, because you're middle journalist of the year. I think of also been government. That's not what gives you credibility. We should be patriotic as a state and stop demarketing our state. This is our common patrimony. You don't know where God is going to take you to tomorrow. If anybody told me I was going to be governor of this state, I will never have believed. That was not my career path. But that was what God's plan was. And in due season, he put me in the heart of Governor Udom Emmanuel. That's why I will not join you to say anything evil about any past leader in this state. I will not. You know? So let us work together and get things done. So set up that committee, put the CSO, CLO, choose 2 of them, but because haven't bought my crown, it's all crown, you know. Srenye. Then, Usen Kenya no responsibility, no Ken and Amako. Dangaba. So I never anything criticize football match every bremi. Oh, it's like it. I mean, unfortunately, I'm sorry and forgive me. Don't count it as a sin. The younger play football. So the younger young me. But I want to know when maybe try get table give so much can it try. So I vote Soyodo. Soyodo. You know. No ball of them draw. First of all, why did they not recruit you among the national team to go and play? So let us, anyway, criticize. I found the journalists, I found the MBOC criticize government because without you, government will be docile. So you are doing your job. Nobody can. And let me use the opportunity to address the issue of Black Book. Black Book of Mog. I am the most journalist, media-friendly governor in this country. The most. And I stand to be challenged. I stand to be challenged. The record speaks for itself. Even the Nigerian Union Guild of Editors says so. I have awards to that effect. So when people just want to hate you, listen to me. Uswa. Premium Times MD, just whatever is, I've not met him before. I don't know him. I know some of our people are the ones sponsoring him. Let them keep writing. What happened was a clear case of the Channels TV. You've been at this station for over 20 years. And I came in and they were classified information that should not be declassified. Every government, including United States government, have classified and non-classified information. And that information went out. And we got to find out that they did it. It was an in-house meeting. And I said, look, familiarity is getting too much. Just ask for replacement. Replacement. And any governor, some governors come and they change the entire press corps they meet. Since I came, I've not changed one human being. Not one. So I said, give us a replacement. So the Channels TV people, I'm sure in this room today, we have a correspondent from Channels TV that is here, you know. So they gave us a replacement. What is press wahala there? In my government house, where I'm governor, you want to force somebody on me. In fact, the more reason I should suspect you. Why are you putting a spy on me? Because we should accredit people that work in government house. As a matter of fact, from time to time, the chief press secretary has a responsibility to reshuffle and say, these people have been here for 6 months. They send them to their various newspapers, give us new ones. So, you know? So, let them tell me if there is anything other than what I've told you today. And so I expect if people rise up and run down your governor that you believe has helped you and has been friendly to you, I expect NUJ to be able to stand up to it and say, this is not true. And I thank the chairman. I think the chairman did a paper on that, you know. So let us live. See, if I want to tell you things that when people write, oh, in Ama Science Park, Anam Science Park, Yangdo Wiyon Sang Wamyo. Yangdo Wiyon Sang Wamyo. Because for project, first of all, the time and season we are in has made those projects obsolete. You can't be talking of Science Park of 20 years ago in 2026. Jeez. This is Science Park. Everything I want to do on earth is here. People sit in their houses and do coding, do cybersecurity training, do all of that. And that's why we have said, how do we help our youth? Let us decentralize this thing to the various local government through the youth development centers. So why do you, okay, what do you want to do? Ngedeme computer, mbono. I got a computer 20 years ago, many will be used by the army. So we must, but there must be projects. There must be projects that are in tandem with their rights agenda and economically viable to the people of Akwa Ibom State. If I go and say, okay, ndong computer, able science park, science park, what are we going to take from there? Science park, I mean, men on records. Am I Bob a long time? So, issue of power. The Commissioner for Power came here. Awo ekremo, ekremo jebo ruri. It didn't make sense, and I'm not too pleased. Friends, let me take you. What the simple question was, what are we doing about power? And how are we going to get power to Akwa Ibom State within the shortest possible time? Friends, we have set up a framework, an implementation framework, and we are following the framework step by step. I am prepared to make this framework available to the chairman of the NUJ so that he can check with us. First of all, we needed to set up a regulatory transition committee from National Electricity Regulation Commission to Akwa Ibom Electricity Regulatory Commission. How do we set that up? The first step was to make sure that we develop a transition plan, and then we facilitate stakeholders consultation, which was what we had done. And when we did that, we needed to register the commission, which the President, the Attorney General, has done. We had to look for commissioners that will run the Electricity Commission. These are professionals. They are not political appointments. And that's why we had to even beg someone. All those people, look at their qualification. We begged them and brought them with wide range of experience. The other day, we had our brother from another state there. And he could work against Rubium. He could work Benudo. He could no war. No war. You see, that is where we say that we must identify gaps, and our people should try and develop themselves to fit into such gaps. You need people who have the experience, who know what to do. We advertised the job, and then I don't know how many people applied. I can't remember now. 26 applied, and we interviewed. We chose them painstakingly. We got a consultant to do the job. I saw them one by one. And then we sent them to the House of Assembly. Thank God the House of Assembly has confirmed them. I think on the 3rd of June, we are swearing them in. And then we've gotten them an office in the Dakada Towers, which government has paid for. Because your regulatory office must look like what it must look resplendent, if you know what I mean. So we got them that office. From the time we give them that when we swear them in, they are going to give me a budget, which they will run for 1 year. And we're going to look at that budget, take it to the Executive Council, approve the budget, make money available to them. Then they will now begin to engage. They will now begin to engage with the National Electricity Regulatory Commission to take over what is the segmentation of our market. Then while they are doing that, there must be another consultant to value our assets. What are the assets? Because don't forget that we must now establish our own sub company out of the present PHED. And the PHED, we have 4 Power Limited as a co-investor, which Akwa Ibom subscribes to. We have to engage them to take over our own shares. Now, what you don't know is that Akwa Ibom only had a name in that 4 Power. That we did not own any shares sitting there, because as at the time, the state government did not have funding to buy those shares. So we told someone to say, look, can you buy these shares in trust for us? When we have the money, we will pay you and take our seat. So this 4 Power Itangami, when they called for board meeting, and the Attorney General is here, it didn't start today, I met it like that. Not long time. Akwa Ibom does not go to the meeting and sit on the board, so you cannot take any decision. You are only answering name. We have signed documents that we gave somebody to Sembok, and there's nothing wrong about that. Don't quote me. It is a business strategy. But we have left this thing for how many years now? Now, we have to first of all go and negotiate with the man, pay him, collect our shares, to sit on the board, to be able to tell the board we want to exit. Because until you sit on that board, you cannot speak. The process of payment and negotiating that deal took us almost 6 months. That's the Attorney General. The man calculated interest rates of his money that he paid over May 20 years, May 16 years. Kamado shares. How many years did he? 14 years. So he said, look, I've tied down my money for you for this period. And he calculated it came to almost 25 billion naira that the state government should pay. I had to personally fly to Dubai to hold a meeting with the guy and begged him. We paid him 10 billion. The figures are there because one way you see, for me, if you ask me anything, I will tell you. Go and investigate. Check my account all over the world. We had to beg to pay the man 10 billion. Now, so that he can vacate, because the Genco now is making profit, so the man doesn't want to live again. You know? So, we negotiated. The man just signed that agreement last week. Only last week. Because he read the agreement, he said he wanted the money at once. I said, I don't have 10 billion at once. I'll pay you twice. But sign off for me to be able to get back my seat on the 4 Power. So, talk up and down. I had to call, go to Abuja, get people that know him, call people in the presidency, talk to this guy, what is it? He said he still wants to retain 2 pieces. I said, you can't retain anything. Young boy will not sing here. You know, get can slay my bono, you know. So, you know, he finally signed last week. Son Sanagado, Zong Yem Dembi 10 billion naira. No, here 5. You need dog board. When you enter the board, you now serve the board notice of your exit. Now, these are processes, and I'm going to share it with you, sir. Now, that you have to audit your assets that you have in the state to be able to say, these are my assets that I want to pull out. The people who come to verify, the guy who is to audit that report, the consultant, you brought him because he has done some work for the state before. You know how much he's asking for. we are still negotiating. Until when you want to go to that board, you must go with the list of that asset, which you don't want to exit, because every transformer, even if it's government, and by law, government, if you buy it, the moment you install it, it belongs to government. So it doesn't matter. I mean, get a transformer, check the law. Because, so now we have to look at all that, say these are our assets. We are exiting with this asset. And then you go into negotiation. This is the work of this regulatory commission that they will come and do. And then we move from there. We are going to, you see, Ibom Power Company, that is another kettle of fish. That power company has been run down completely. And when people talk, oh, bring back the former MD, leave the matter for Mataya, so don't let us go there, you know. As of today, on that IPC, every quarter, we pay Afri-Exim Bank 500, you are the Commissioner for Finance, $540,000. I met a debt of $9-point-something million that they had gone to the court in the UK, collected a judgment against us. They were about to fight and take over that IPC. The moment I came in, and this was happening about the time I came into office, we took it. I ran to Barrister Paul Usoro, who knows the guy who was MD then, before he exited. What was his name? That guy, you know, they now, Raji, you don't know, well, okay, he's Afri-Exim. Is it Orama? The man now used and said, okay, let's renegotiate. They had already collected judgment. They were filing the judgment. That's the Attorney General there. So, we are working, but I'm not somebody that is given to coming to move. I like to work under and then come up with results. We have to now pay, and then that IPC, please sit down, we're owing Savannah Energy, who was giving us gas, over 25 billion naira, because the federal government was owing us well over that, about 40-something billion, which we have supplied to the national grid, which they were not paying. So they couldn't pay Savannah. So Savannah did not even have money to drill gas again, because we were about the biggest client they had. So recently, part of the head of government, if I not tie, but my getting from tie, Mengbeba Kira, Mengbeba Guro, Mengbeba Ban, non come and tronsa, Novitio, get me man young, you know. You see, sometimes every leader, God gives you a foresight, and that's why you are called a leader. Nobody can tell a driver on the steering, look, go this way, go this way. Aforibo motomi wara. Yang soyo aforiben what? So we moved. It is out of that negotiation. We got 25 billion naira, right? And the moment we got 25 billion, I think you are there. We remitted straight to Savannah so that the Savannah can be in business and give us gas. Now, the truth here is, after that, we have to now think of government cannot run business. About government, industry. Government is an enabler to businesses. Government, the structure of government with the civil service cannot, no government in the world. Government can only succeed if you set up a special purpose vehicle and allow them run like Ibom Air is doing. But even at that, you are like CBN, lender of last resort. Every time they come back to you, just yesterday, Anchor Insurance, their license would have been withdrawn as of today. And that one I'm having in Canada. Yesterday, I had to cough out 16.5 billion naira to pay, to hold on to Anchor Insurance because they couldn't raise the money. Then my question is, what's going on? Because Utomide would investigate anything. But I'm married to your government, okay. You don't matter to your government, and no word in Bere. Because your commission a forensic audit. Anywhere government puts its money, I will be interested. I cannot be throwing money of government. 16.5 billion payment cash would have done a road for me, would have completed one project for me. But we had, because if I didn't pay, they withdraw that license as at, it has closed. Every company that didn't pay as at the close of business, by law, they've lost their license. So if you want to license, you I'm told. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You know, sorry about, you know me, that's how I deliver my message. One, I'm a pastor. I must bring in some little things that will relax you. So when I say those things, you must know everybody have their own manner of speaking. You know, I lived with my grandfather, so I'm used to all of these things, you know. So people just say things they don't know. Now, to get that IPC to work, we now have to set up a distribution company. Apart from the commission, we must set up a distribution company that will now come and discuss on concession. Because I will not tell you lie, government cannot run that place. We give it to a company and tell them this is the yardstick. Aditi inam so say you be inam dom say for be inam dom you appoint me wo isn't good board I'm going to appoint me wo then itaniko be near the gas then I'm on the near distribution then this commission regulate more. There are other things involved. With this asset we have reclaimed and everything, we take over. Then this supply it can from so that it distributes. That is how it's done. So it's a process. It's a process. Now, to your question, the question should be, how soon will this happen? I think that's the question. We are doing all we can. I also have booby traps. I have traps. I can't tell you lies. There are pressure groups. There are blackmailers. There are those who have been benefiting and see that they will not benefit again. So they will go and hire people like you to be writing against government. I don't often get me borrow. So but I know that from the timetable I have, because what I've done, we got a consultant and they have given me timelines, you know, we expect that. There are even some of these things that I'm already talking with the Vice President's office, who is the chairman of privatization. When you finish, the Vice President's office have to sign off. And so we're already talking. I believe with this timetable, if we progress well, and I'm on them, that's why I carry them. So we'll say it here. So some of you can see from far. You see some, with completed, green, some ongoing, yellow, some not started, red. I monitor some of them. When I wake up, I every time, so it's difficult. Just tell the people the process. If we don't follow this process, we won't get light. We will be on. It make a midamimbo, you can ask for the political statement. There's still work to be done. But the truth is that, have we started? Yes. Are we going to do it? Yes. Now, the other part of it is that there are some communities that electricity will never get to. There's what is called alternative power supply. We are discussing with some companies that will, even in your houses, even where electricity gets to, there are some homes today, even some government institutions today, all these model schools, all these compassionate homes, they are powered by solar. So we are working to see how we can provide about 50,000 homes with solar panels. We are holding meeting with the local government chairman so that we can take it to the local government. That meeting is on. Where we stand now is pricing, to be sure that it will be at the right price, so that government will subsidize, local government will subsidize, then the people, beneficiaries will get, they will pay. It's not free, but at least what they should pay will be minimal. And under 1 year, they should be able to exit the payment plan for the underserved and unserved. But in Akwa Ibom today, we are either all of us are unserved or underserved. So I'm sure that some of you will be interested. Some of your homes today are powered by solar. And so we are doing so much in that area. I think those were the things that I heard that made me tell my people that I need to excuse myself. Because if we are not able to put it in proper context, and I don't blame them all, some of the things I've said here, I'm the only one who can say it. So when you see me come and yab them, that's how we yab ourselves, though. No commissioner can come and stay and tell you, I want my boss shareholding. I bet try. I don't think that in my show with them. I don't think that time man to member secretary to government sack this person, because no be your mouth and go here say teacher mama don't die. Why be say that your mouth and go hear him? Now let you be student. I for no principal look for way. So if you hear say teacher mama die, when they say when teacher don't come school, say I don't know. No, we say that you go talk say teacher mama die. The whole school begin talk say teacher mama. They say how you take here, they come mention your name. So that is why they are trying to play around it, Not that, I'm telling you, not that they don't know. Because all of these things I've read to you, he has it. He knows how many meetings we are doing. But I don't want a politician, I know, So not that, because again, I don't want you to leave this place. God will not forgive you if you leave this place and say, oh, Governor Omeno takes a swipe on his commissioners. That's not true. That's not true. I know you now. I know you now. So that's why I'm telling you that there are some things that even when they know, they cannot say, I think for the people of civil servant, I'm directed. Anything they've not direct, you can't eat down. No. So I needed to let you know, because you must know the work we are doing. It's not a walk in the park. There are so many systemic problems we are correcting right now. We are doing a lot. We may not, I will never pass blame, because like the president said, I campaigned for this job and I took this job, and the job comes with liabilities and assets. So the day you take it, it's only a foolish leader that comes on the job and begins to say, it is this person, it is this person. No leader passes the buck. No leader. And that's why when my leaders come to me and I say, what happened to this computer as commissioner for digital? Oh, it is my permanent secretary, or talk to my, I just look at the person as, the moment I begin to talk to your subordinate, you are out. You are supposed to be on top of your job. If there's a mistake, take that responsibility, go back home and correct it. You don't come to, it's like now, something, God forbid, happens in Akwa Ibom, and the president calls and says, no, Your Excellency, it was my deputy governor that handled it. What? So that is why you see that there are things we are doing. We are correcting a lot. We are correcting a lot. We are fighting, you know. And some of us have paid great price for it. You know, when you want to correct a systemic error that people have benefited. When I came first, it started with staffing. We had consultants, almost 4 of them. They were checking payroll before they pay. And we're paying them for checking our payroll. And then we had, I now came and said, look, with all these consultants, why are we having this bloated? So let's do an independent thing. We did it, over 2,000 ghost workers were paying. Only God knows since when. So I said, okay, consultants, I disengage all of you. They started blackmailing me. They turned it to ethnic something. Oh, I need BBO me. I am BBO no nang. I've been a friend from BBO. BBO again, I tell me don't. Could you be no? These are people that should ordinarily be handed over for investigation. Because you couldn't have been consultant and we had this amount of leakages. I mean, we finished that. We started, we trimmed down, and everything came. We are moving. We went into internally generated revenue. Government house for we went into the day this man gives me I pay you 4 million or go code come go bonus debasi. Boy, yeah, chairman. How did you? How did you do it? Because he was the only one collecting revenue. The other subsidiaries of government were not plugging to the internally generated revenue or IRS, AI. They were not plugging. So our revenue internally generated, we became one of the lowest in the country. 2 billion in a year. When Lagos is talking of trillion, you know. So please sit down, sir. So we came and said, no. Because I had knowledge as commissioner for lands in this state, what was going on. When I was commissioner for lands, I was the one that called him. Well, look, send your staff to my ministry so that of all this registration, true or false? No, did I do it or not? I don't know if they've driven them out now. Make commission and you know. So, because I didn't understand. You will see them bring file to you on the same street. Number 2, Enwe Street. Ewedo can be charged 500,000. Number 4, Enwe Street, 150,000. So how come on the same street, valuation? So I now said, okay, it's Indian picture. So my man had a picture. I'm instead of a small team because I discovered that it's going to give a picture. I mean, it's like saying that there's a touch house care wet. Indian picture. Oh, no, you will be curious. You go for your picture. Yes, I don't know. So I took. They will now set up my own team. Mweka I gave verify. They will go and take me the real picture. And so they were using it. So I told them to come. So I knew all of these things. So now that God has given me the privilege, that's why I'm going to almost said government. I can run government. It will almost get to the time you are leaving. That's what they might offer. If they get anything, the man has a vision. He knows what he wants to do, but they are in traps. Traps. They can. Permanent secretary voted permanent. So, afumu you make see my dang in a man or game. Gaya usio. He's got permanent 35 years. I won't bomb me in a bar. K office, K Ministry of Lands, Akbakusong office me. God is my witness. It was I think after 9. I was sir. Mbo. Kuna utem government ma usen kid. Came on here 35 years. I didn't know what to me. The young Dion, can you come? I'm telling you. I mean said a David though. And 2 weeks after, I'm going to transfer to your ministry me. You're going to eat and closed by 4. You know. So we now started TSA. All money in this state. Journalists say we TSA though. Now we started TSA. Afre government pass it through single treasury account. You can put it there, justify why you want to take it out, like drugs for funds. They pay, they take, but you can track. He himself as commissioner now, there's an investigation you didn't tell me. I hear you are doing about one medicine that they supplied. I don't understand. True or false? Have you told me? Okay. Because you see, the system makes you to know why a demand is being made now. I think it's going to be to General Speaker then and when I'm General Speaker next week, and you are the commissioner, you know before those drugs were coming, the commissioner didn't even know how much he was releasing. So we said TSA, everybody. I don't make down, boy, no. Send more war. Government send any unauthorized account. I promise under God, the person will go in for it. Now, the first month we started, how much?
7.5 billion.
The second month, how much?
10.2 billion.
The third month, how much?
12 billion.
We have only started TSA. For 3 months, it jumped from 2, 3, 4. It jumped, now we are at 12. And there are more coming. There are more coming. Now, this money, I don't think you for me. We are funding these projects. Look at them. And we have to pay. Right now, we pay our contractors on IPC. When we mobilize, you work, they come and do valuation and produce a voucher that we now use in paying you. We have gotten to that point. Any contractor that says we are owing, it's either your IPC has not been paid or you have not done, just as the contractor, do you have IPC? Simple. That's how we have been able to fight. And the Commissioner for Works knows the backlogs I have cleared to get to this position. He knows. The Commissioner for Special Duty knows the backlogs. For you to move all of that to a place where you now say, bring your IPC. So, sir, I'm not saying this because it's only God that rewards efforts and the things we have done. But that's what I'm willing to do. We are going into elections. Some will be waiting for you wait. Now UJ do a gubernatorial debate. Let us come and talk. And bring independent people. International independent people. It's all over the world. Saido origin suewo. Etemi mekamiki gbebera suewo. Mogida was rosa suewo frine too for. Ndonkero too for. Check fam sit down sir. Check family worotero. They can make my separate long time. They came from a dysfunctional home. And so they don't know culture of respect. You can say what you want to say without abusing anybody. I was taught in the business school that diplomacy is the ability to tell somebody to go to hell and he looks forward to making the trip. That's diplomacy. So you can say the things you want to say. You can ask questions. Every question you have asked, if you were insulting government, I was listening. You were asking genuine, direct question because you want to know. And so when I saw that my people, I saw their handicap. Let me just come. Let me come and stay with you people and share the moments with you people. Please, let me run back because I have other things. But the Ikorogbambia Road will be awarded. The Mobile Road, we need to partner with Seplat, and we need to begin that work. Commissioner for Works, write to them officially, let's engage. The potholes, we set up a committee within 1 week. Tabaraku Road and Itimekpo Road. By July, if we don't meet the condition of the agreement we signed, we terminate the contracts and the reward. Then I've spoken about power. I think we have told you about power. I've talked about and I'm sure the Commissioner for Digital Economy, we now have a full commissioner. This guy is PhD in information system. With British Army. For him to be a lecturer, to teach in the British, is like our own NDA. He won't be there. I will give you a political appointment. So I literally had to drag him to come back and say, you know, come and put some of these things. And so these things we are doing, let's be careful. I'm doing projects. Belize, Commissioner for the inherited projects I'm completing. But you get about Kerembo Nam, the Yembo Nam do, no governor Fenema, the Eddie Nam, Gigina and then Nam a foot, Gontang throw. Etumano says he's not completing projects. That's not what I said. Any project that is not going to be economically viable to the people of Akwa Ibom State, I won't waste money on it. But anyone that has been left behind, look at Akadeb. Can you imagine Akadeb? How many years? That is, and all those people get that place, they get able to go for nothing. We saw him retire. They were not working. Now we have re-engaged them. So these are the things we can work together. So chairman, journalists, NUJ, set up a team once in a while. If you have issues to discuss with government, let the Commissioner for Information know. We set a date, and when already 5-6 people, we look at things that let's partner. I want a partnership. Let's partner together. Oh, Mbontom. You have a right to know. You are the fourth estate of the realm. You are the last hope of the common man. You know, judiciary, in my own opinion, no, because judiciary, I don't evidence. But no for you know. So, but we can partner. We need. I will give. Investigate. You know. Then journalists they carry tank to governor. Journalists they carry na police station. No, you see. One, I want to be told. But you know, to worry and when bog internet, as we tell me, as we can me. and the Hussein, I am Musen Bano, you remember. No, I have a right to defend and protect myself. I'm also a citizen. The law is not meant for only the law to protect the law. It's also you can protect the citizen. Declare wanted. So I declare wow. And it's not a threat. If I threaten you as a person, this God, I remember Dr. came, I'll kill you tomorrow. You have a right to protect yourself under the law. And so do I. So you must remove utomum. But the moment you bring my family into it, then you must be ready with evidence to prove. Otherwise, I will go to court to seek redress. I make no pretense about it. So, but if John and I said, I'm going to go in date, and what tang, document the Yami song. I don't know what I can do. But as an internet, I'm afraid wicked. And I've gone to court, influence court's position. I'm not in the judiciary. But on the I ain't appeal. I ain't going on you the appeal. No lawyer says like a Calabake appeal. But you get ma se for nama me. If for no boy tell me. Sorry, kick mine. Because se for me evidence model. Edi yo kubo. And I'll see offend by force. We organize a protest. But I am the governor. Now I am to more Basi Eno. You can't impugn on my person and insult my family. I have children. So whatever, so you have threatened me. Oh, come on. I will come after that. You know. So if that is what we are talking about, any answer, I have a right to also protect myself. So one make a man teach lesson. And for you, the next lesson being teach. And I won't stop. So that is the name I do openly, no one afraid. I've not for the same way me, no clue, is an idiot or idiot already on Borogewiko. Because who's in Mark Bontom? Second, I know Magenta. It's a merry-go-round. It's as simple as that. Get a quark apostolic. No, quite get a quark. Bantenam de no Israel. Eyenam Magenta. And the young affair do work. I said, you are Menon Poiso, Commissioner for Information, I announce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud His Excellency Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Uboino.
Gentlemen of the press, thank you so much. Thank you. Please, let's be seated so we can take these proceedings to a close properly. Thank you. Thank you. Relax, everybody relax. We were in the process, we were in a session that His Excellency, our Father and Governor, came in as a father to shed more light and show himself to you as his governor. He has come to play that role, and we're happy he did. But we'll take the last set of questions. No more questions? That's fine. No, I needed you to say so. I needed you to say so that you will not go and say tomorrow that we stopped you or we gagged you. So I am happy that you have said we are okay. I want to thank you. So on this note, we will invite the chairman of NUJ to step to this and give a vote of thanks.
The Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Information, other members of the State Executive Council here present, the Chief Press Secretary to His Excellency the Governor, members of the State Working Committee of the NUJ, members of the State Executive Committee, past leaders, heads of broadcast stations, publishers, very dear colleagues. Please, I'd like you to just maintain peace so that you can finish in 5 minutes. On behalf of the leadership and members of the NUJ, I'd like to thank His Excellency, the media-friendly Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for taking time out of his schedules and out of the meeting he was involved in to address us this beautiful evening. I also like to thank members of the State Executive Committee of the Akwa Ibom State Government who took time to respond to questions that were directed at them. I'd like to also make a very passionate appeal to our leaders here present that having all ESCO members speak to NUJ for one day is not enough, because the NUJ is made up of very intelligent people, and the State Executive Council is also made up of very intelligent people. And so when two intelligent institutions meet, it is always an interesting session. But I trust that the Honorable Commissioner will make time again so that from time to time we can have this interaction with other members of the State Executive Committee. I'd like to acknowledge what you are doing, the first 11 of His Excellency the Governor, in your respective ministries, MDAs and parastatals. Also like to thank you because for the past 8 months or 9 that we have been in office as leaders of the NUJ, we've not had reasons to hear that you have maltreated any journalist. We've not also had reasons to hear that you've maltreated your information officer. But I'd like to make a very passionate appeal to all of you that you please equip and strengthen your public relations and information units by please providing for them at least a utility vehicle. Because most times when they accompany you to events in the field, on your way back, you do have an engagement to meet with His Excellency. And sometimes your drivers or your backup drivers drop them on the road, and they now have to find their way back to the secretariat where they work. That for us is not very encouraging. And I believe that if you provide them with those mobility, they will be able to function even better than what they are doing today. Still on that, I also like to make a very passionate appeal to us that there is one concern that we have been pushing, and that is the way-in allowance for journalists that are working in government employment, journalists in the Ministry of Information, and as much as we can. At the last time when we had an interface with the immediate past head of civil service, Elder Ifeanyi, he assured that everything is on ground to ensure that His Excellency has sent and approved that engagement. So I'd like to make an appeal to you, please. Help us also when you have your state exco meeting to further discuss that so that it can see the light of day. I'd like to also acknowledge members of the NUJ family, which by the grace of God I sit as the chairman, and thank you for maintaining the art of professionalism. Thank you very much. You just called a vote of confidence from His Excellency the Governor that he came because all the questions you asked are professional questions that you seek enlightenment and not throwing mud at government. It is our responsibility as members of the fourth estate of the realm to ensure that we partner with government, partner with institutions towards ensuring that we give our states the best in terms of information management and dissemination. I also would like to make this concern again, that please, when government is communicating, the information should be very direct and very explicit. For instance, the case of where our colleague also applied for the loan or grant and took pictures and sent. I think if that information was, civil servants are exempted, I'm sure she wouldn't have taken the pens to go through that. As we get set to call it today, I trust that this engagement will continue. This engagement will not be annually, but from time to time, like His Excellency the Governor said. I'd like to please appeal to members of the State Executive Council to convey our appreciation again to His Excellency the Governor. In the statistics that we have, he is the only governor that has employed so many journalists in his cabinet as aides. But we would like to go beyond that. And as the government is getting set to appoint boards, parastatals, and commissions, journalists are excellent persons that if you add to that team, they can give you the best in all they are going to do. I trust that as we progress today, we celebrate His Excellency on his 3rd year anniversary, and we believe that the glory of the future is greater than what we've just passed. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much for having us. We look forward to this engagement again. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, the chairman of this NUJ Akwa Ibom State. Let me, on behalf of my colleagues in the State Executive Council, and especially His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umobasi Eno, PhD, who came in here to brighten this engagement and shed more light on all of what we are discussing here today. I want to thank everyone, thank all the honorable commissioners and chairmen of boards and commissions and heads of agencies that came out here today to participate in this engagement. I thank the State Working Committee of the NUJ and everyone else who has participated. We appreciate you and your questions. And may the Almighty God bless all of you in Jesus' name. Yeah, Our Excellency, the coordinator of the Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Helen Eno Obaraki, had made provisions for us to have late lunch served from both sides of the hall. So we'll formally close this meeting, since we have said we should close, because I know everybody wants to run for the games to go and see the concluding part. Because I thought we still had more to do, but we will do that another time. So we thank you so much, and God bless you all. Then shortly after that, after the prayers and we shut down the cameras, we have some announcements. Thank you.
Please, may we rise as Akbarawa James Sedet, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, leads in the closing prayers.
Let us pray. In the name of God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Bless us, O Lord, with this thy gift we are about to receive from thy bounty. May they be useful to our bodies and soul in Jesus' name.
Yeah, is the broadcast over?